tonight, guests at the Great Plains Zoo and Aquarium got to meet and hear from an expert on a critically endangered species. Dr. Gregory Rasmussen talked about the state of the wild African painted dog. He even shared stories of his work in the field, as well as how we can help save this endangered species.
You know, and in nature, we don't realize it now, some of us. We need wildlife, we need our nature, we need our wild spaces. And we need spaces that do stay the way they are for nature, for us, for our own well-being. We don't realize that yet.
Dr. Rasmussen is also the founder and executive director of Painted Dog Research Trust.
Still ahead.